morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? It's Kirsten Liebelt. I was going to take a sip before I went on, and then I forgot. How are you doing today? So what is today? Today is Tuesday. Okay, Tuesday. Here we go. So good to see you guys. Come on in. Say hi. Tell me if you're on the replay, where you're coming in from. And I always forget to tell people, like, if this information brings you value, like, share, comment, subscribe, do the things, because we can get this message out further and wider. And if you don't know who I am, which is highly likely, my name is Kirsten Liebelt, and I live in Minnesota, and I basically talk about insulin resistance all day long. And I do it from a place of, I was raised by a type 2 Italian dad who died at the age of 63, which was super young. I'm almost 61 myself. And hello, Sue. Good to see you. And it just really bothered me for the longest time. Now, don't get me wrong. I didn't do anything for myself right away after he died. I waited, I was 30 when he died. I waited until I was freaking 50 years old. So I know, no judgment, but that's why I want to be able to give you guys hope, because this was never meant to be a diagnosis that is or your own self-diagnosis, well, how do I know if I'm insulin resistant? And then we go through all the list and you're like, oh my gosh, I think I'm insulin resistant. This was never meant to be okay, now, no matter what, this is something you're going to have to be on meds for the rest of your life. This is something you're going to have to, I just did it again. I need to plug that in. This is something that there's nothing you can do to overcome. This is okay, so you're insulin resistant. All right. Well, welcome to I'm making it up, 76.4% of the population, which of course is not true, but I'm, just saying, it's a lot. It's a lot of people that are insulin resistant. It's a lot of people that have liver issues because of it. It's a lot of fill in the blank. Okay. So having said that, when I realized that this was from the medical community, just a lot of meds and not a lot of really good information, I was like, this isn't matching up. And I just got scared enough. I got scared enough from my mother, thankful for my mother, that I was not in a good place in my body. And I was a chicken to go to the doctor and find out what my sugars really were. I was scared. I was like, okay, I'm just going to do this instead. I'm going to just see, okay, am I normal thirsty or am I overly thirsty? Am I normal peeing or am I, overly peeing? Okay, I have a sore on my arm or I have a sore on my leg. Is it healing properly? Because that was my dad's life. That literally was my dad's life. So when I decided to do everything, I took as many paths of least resistance as I possibly could because, well, I feel like that's human nature. I feel like I was maybe a little more than the average bear path of least resistance person. But whatever. I'm sure that a lot of us are that way. And I thought, you know what, I have to go through this journey, but I have to be able to do it in a way that does not just bring shame on me. I think that was from God. I'm going to be honest. I think it was from the Lord that really helped me to be like, okay, you can actually do this in a way where you're just going to assess and pay attention and then move forward. Because I don't think my default would have been that way by myself. I'm just being super real with you right now. So I started with targeted supplementation. That's why I talk about it every single day, because I cannot believe the results that people get when you are very specific and when done properly, how that changes the way your body delivers you a different result. We'll do that at the end. But in the meantime, when I started doing that, because I'm like, okay, fine. I can take a couple supplements. I'm not a supplementer, but I can do that. But then I spent time to trade out my food ingredients, and it took me a long time. It took me 3 to 4 years, and I did it without telling people around me. because I had a lot of food pushers. I don't know if this is you. I don't know if you resonate with this, but I was raised in a culture that said you need to eat, eat, eat because that is showing respect to the person who made the food, whether it's your grandma. I mean, that was my life. I mean, like it was yesterday. I could transport myself right now into my aunt's home where my grandma was living because her husband, my grandpa, Italian, had already died younger than he should have from type 2. He had already gone blind and was living in a wheelchair. And so she then moved in with her daughter, which was my aunt. And they had like a wing for her in the house. I mean, it was a really beautiful home. And I remember going in there and you entered the kitchen and she was always at the stove. She was always at the counter. She was always serving food. She was always sitting at the end of the table. And she would be, eating pomegranates and, 100% Italian. My dad was 100% Italian. And I remember all of these things. And that was the culture. And you did not disrespect. If somebody made you food, you sat down and you ate the food. Manja, manja, come on, you eat. But then when you gained weight, there was this disapproval, not from everybody, probably more from maybe my mother's side, who was 100% Swedish. There was this disapproval of like, oh, you should probably lose a few pounds. But I will never, ever forget when I did lose weight. One of the times most specifically, and then we're going to get into our topic, of course. Most specifically, it was around the year that my dad died. I'm like 30 years old. I lost a bunch of weight. And I had done it before, but I was like 18 at the time. And then I had babies and gained a bunch of weight in between that. So I lost a bunch of weight. And I remember the comment coming to me then, oh, don't get too skinny now. And I think that we maybe don't realize that some of those tracks, some of those records that are in our brain, they still play with us. And we have to be mindful. So that 3 to 4 years that I took, that was for me. And it might not take you that at all. In fact, most of you crush my results. But I was working on this. Okay? And I didn't tell anybody at first at all. I didn't want to hear anybody's negative thoughts about what I was eating, what I wasn't eating. It is amazing how much we pay attention to what people are eating. It's amazing, right? And I had a lot of it. And so I had to like shut all that off and do my own journey. So this is why I come to you and I'm like, okay, we're going to do this without shame, number one. And I'm going to teach you how to assess your journey. And I'm going to teach you how to get your body to deliver you a different result. Like, let's freaking go. We can do this. Like, it's amazing. If I can do this, anybody can do this. Trust me. So today I want to talk about your energy, your cravings, your belly fat, why they feel super unpredictable. And it's connected to an organ that's behind your stomach. Does anybody know what it is? I bet you guys do. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, Deborah says, good morning, Kirsten, you amazing woman. What a great teacher you are. Deborah, thank you so much. You're very, very kind. I appreciate you more than you have any idea. Good morning, Shannon. Almost missed. Well, you didn't. You're here. Yay. Good morning, Peggy. Enjoying that southern weather. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. Am I missing anything here? Shannon, a different Shannon. Type 2 diabetes seems to run in immediate family. Yep. Shannon, Delaware. You've listened a few times. It's so nice to see you again here, Shannon. So nice to see you. Canada, another Canadian friend. Just on the offset, just a little side note to my Canadian people. If you ever need something from me supplementary, ask me for my Canadian link, okay? Just because it's a separate one. Marilyn, good morning. Happy Tuesday. Oh, you guys, good morning. Oh, good morning. Very, 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 very good. Okay, so let's get into this then, because I'll tell you, when you finally have some hope, when you finally realize that other people are actually taking back their own health and getting the results that they want, you're like, oh, maybe I could do that too. And it does raise your belief. It really does. Excuse me, Barb from Ontario. Thank you yesterday for your greens product suggestion for those who were in Canada. I appreciate that because not everything is launched in Canada. And you know what? Listen, y'all don't need to order everything from me. You really don't, right? You don't have to. But then make sure that you are looking for things that are third-party tested. Make sure you are looking for things that are off of organic farms. Make sure you are looking for supplements that are actually made with plants, and they actually have a birth certificate for the seeds, that they actually have control over their entire process from seed to supplement. Just make sure that the quality, because I'm just telling you, otherwise you literally are flushing money down the toilet if things aren't giving you results. Just telling you. But anyway, good morning, Jody. Oh man, I was going to leave you a message this morning and it got away from me, Jody. It got away from me. So I would love to chat if at all possible. Jody girl, my Minnesota friend. Joan, favorite coach. Joan, you're so nice to me. You're so good to me. Okay, so let's just jump in and understand. Let's do another layer of understanding of how our bodies work, because I am fully convinced that if you understand, then you will stay the course. You will be consistent. You will actually get to the other side. Do you know what that picture is of that one guy with the pickaxe, and he's inside of a tunnel and he's hitting the wall, and he's hitting the wall, and he's almost to his destination. And you can see on the other side, there are this mine of diamonds. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you seen this picture? And he gives up and he turns back around again and he goes the other way. Do you know what I'm talking about? And I see my ability to be able to step into where you are, right? You're right. It's right there. It's right there. It's right there. And if you'll just keep going, because you have to stop requiring your body to just fix itself immediately. Come on. This society has ruined us for thought process and for tenacity and for a little bit of longevity. If you want your body to heal, then you have to give your body time to heal. Thus, the conversation about shame, not having shame on you for things that you were taught as a child, for tracks that run in your head, for things that people have said to you that were unkind, maybe as a little girl. You have to not have shame about just recognizing certain things and then moving on, because you can't heal. Remember, talking about healing the body. You can't heal a body in shame. So let's dump the shame. Let's give ourselves permission for a journey. Let's understand how our bodies actually function and then get them to produce a different result. Your body will only respond properly to what you give it to respond to, because it's no respecter of you. It is just doing what it's being told to do through the inputs, like a computer. So I'm going to help you change your inputs, right? That's what we do. So if you need coffee to function, if you are feeling hangry in between meals, you literally have that hangry feeling. If you crash mid-afternoon, if you crave sugar even when you're not hungry, some of that is actually probably connected to your mind, but still, a real sugar craving. Golly, I just had the best testimonies recently about sugar cravings going away and food noise calming. Maybe you're feeling calm one day, but you're super wired the next day, right? These are not personality traits. They're not character things. These are biological signals. And there is an organ right behind your stomach called your pancreas that drives all of this. And so we rarely hear about the pancreas and the insulin. We almost always hear about the blood sugar. But this came first. This came first. But they only want to talk to you about this. So they wait for this to show up, even though this came first. Okay? So I want people to wake up, and whether or not you ever partner with me, walk away with a little bit of information and valuable understanding for yourself. Okay. This came first, the pancreas and the insulin conversation. Okay. And insulin is a hormone. So there's that small organ behind your stomach, and it literally decides how your day feels. Now, remember, in the past 3 days, 3 lives we did, insulin and estrogen, insulin resistance and estrogen. We did insulin resistance and your gut. We did insulin resistance and anxiety. So insulin resistance is the core conversation all day, every day, like a broken record, because it's tied to so much. And if you'll grasp that, then you will be like, game on, because now I have understanding. Okay. So every time you eat, it asks, your pancreas asks, so do we burn this for fuel or should we store it as fat? Which one should we do? All right. So this decision controls your energy, your cravings, your fat storage, and your mental clarity. Hello. Does that sound like the things that you're probably looking to have help with? I think probably that's true. And when that system gets overwhelmed, your body chooses storage and survival. It's just the way that it is. Okay. It's just the way that it is. So that is why, here we go. That is why these types of things don't necessarily work very well. Eating less, skipping meals can actually backfire. Now, this is not all a blanket conversation. Some of y'all are doing some intermittent fasting and it's working. Don't fix what's not broken, okay? But there are situations where people, like, our cortisol is already high, and possibly doing extended fasts can raise it a little higher in this moment of where we are with our system. So just take what work, don't throw out if something's working for you just because we have this conversation, okay? But for somebody else, this might be a total aha moment, okay? So eating less, skipping meals can backfire. Willpower feels useless. Fat loss completely stalls out. Completely stalls out. Your body isn't resisting you. It's literally like protecting itself, okay? It's protecting itself. But when fuel feels super unpredictable, your body keeps insulin high. That high insulin is literally the crux of this conversation. High insulin wreaks havoc on your body, wreaks havoc. High insulin means this: fat burning pause, no fat loss for you. Do you remember the Seinfeld episode, the guy, the soup Nazi? No soup for you. No fat loss for you if your insulin is constantly high. Period. This isn't subjective. This is like how your body works, right? Hunger gets louder. Oh, you're like, what is going on? Why is this food noise so crazy? Your belly fat shows up first because it's the visceral fat, girls. It's the visceral fat that you don't want. It's dangerous. It's emitting hormones, inflammation, and it's from underneath your boob all the way down your hip. Underneath your boob, all the way down your hip, that whole trunk area, visceral fat. This is why the belly fat shows up first. And your energy feels super unstable. So you eat and then you crash. You fast and then you binge. Maybe some of you can relate to some of this. Maybe you diet and then you stall. Okay? So it's not failure, it's literally chemistry. Okay, it's literally chemistry in your body. All right. Stress makes it so much worse. And I think that's a part of why I'm on my own journey this year to implement things for me, understanding that I tend to run high cortisol and that can, like, once I fixed that, this is for me, that's how I fixed my sleep. So if you know that you run high cortisol, a little bit more fight or flight, a little more I want to multitask all the time. It's kind of like go, go, go a little bit. Sometimes it's, maybe you have a hard time just relaxing, whatever. And then that's for me when I realize that, because I feel like absolutely everybody on the face of the planet should be on the magnesium I'm taking because it's amazing. It's a triple blend. It's really, really good. It's not just a singular blend. But with that magnesium, depending upon how you want to fix your sleep, depends on what you add into it. So for me, I added in our ashwagandha. And I know not everybody can take ashwagandha. Like I think you'd have to double check. Like if you're on blood thinners, you got to make sure. If you're on certain medications, you got to make sure. Blah, blah, blah. That's not my conversation today. But my magnesium and ashwagandha helped me to fix my cortisol sleep that I needed to have fixed. Okay. So, but I'm implementing other things this year because I know that y'all are stressed like I am for different reasons. And I don't mean like I live a stressful life. I don't. I actually live a really streamlined life that I love very much. But some of you, and because I was in a stressful season when I took care of my brother and my mother for 5 years, very stressful, dementia, group homes, all sorts of things going on between the two of them, all at the same time, crazy pants. So now I'm more mindful of the stress. Now that I really understand how stress is messing you up, I'm on a little bit of a mission to help you guys and me deal with stress with some more natural things. So like you've heard me maybe talk about, because I said at the beginning of the year, I want to work on my lymphatic system and the strength of my legs. And, it's kind of that whole nervous system thought process as well. So I'm implementing some red light therapy, a vibration plate. I do have castor oil and a like a thing for my liver. I have not used that one yet. I do have a squat machine. That's not necessarily about less stress. I mean, I guess maybe it is because exercise, but you're building muscle and muscle pulls your glucose faster. And your leg strength is connected to your longevity. But I'm implementing things because you've got to fix your sleep. You've got to fix your stress. This is all tied to your insulin resistance not turning around very well. So because this is a multifaceted, multi-layered conversation, this is why I just really implore you, do not expect your body to give you results in 2 weeks. Stop doing that. Some people get results right away, and I get it. And I'm so grateful for those. I posted one this morning where she lost like 10 pounds in 2 weeks. And it's probably because she was just dumping impacted waste and inflammation. And so I'm grateful for that. But that whole long-term fat loss that stays off your body like it has for me, let's walk the journey. Like give yourself permission for the journey, okay? So under eating your protein can cause stress. Years of dieting, come on, we're all in the same boat. It causes stress. Emotional load, like when I was taking care of my mother and my brother. Maybe you're having, some of you just came out of a really hard, bad divorce. Some of you take care of a patient with, or a parent with dementia. Some of you, like you have things going on in your life that are stressful, right? If you are regularly having poor sleep, you are literally swimming upstream at a very fast pace. You are not gaining ground if you can't fix your sleep. I almost should probably do a webinar for you guys just on sleep, on tools that you could use to maybe help your sleep and how you can, whatever, because sleeping is so underrated when you have insulin resistance. They can track it. They track it on studies, how much higher your cortisol is the next day, how much higher your insulin resistance is the next day. And you start to string nights together with bad sleep, no bueno. It gets bad, right? So I'm just telling you. And all of it is telling your body that the fuel is not safe. It's telling your body things that are keeping it in storage mode. And you're like, why can't I release this? What's wrong with me? I'm in my calorie deficit. I'm counting my points. I'm blah, blah, blah. But it's not completely all mattering. Okay. So, but the good news is that the system responds fast when it's supported correctly. You can begin to turn this around rather quickly. So don't, whatever. Adult children, I hear. Yep. I know. And we have to, this is where now, and, I live my life as a Christian, and I know not everybody I speak to does, but, there is a word, and it's in the word that says to really cast your cares, on the Lord. And I've had to learn things like that. I do not have adult children that are wayward, but I know a lot of people do. But even when I was taking care of my mom and my brother, it's like, I found myself really going, listen, Lord, this is your deal. Cause this is your deal. Like I can only control what I can control. And then the rest of it, through prayer, it's like, it has to be with you. Right. But we have to learn those things. So anyway, so when fuel becomes predictable again, these are the things that actually happen to you. This is amazing, right? These are the things that you actually want. So, your system can get supported and it can return to homeostasis. It can return to some balance. And all of a sudden, your cravings will calm. Your energy will begin to smooth out. Your fat loss turns back on, and food stops controlling your thoughts. That is a big one. That is a big one. Okay. That's not motivation, it's biology. Okay. So if your body feels unpredictable, it's not broken. It's not broken. It's really asking you for regulation. Please help me. Help me to get back to regulation again. It's like if your car could talk, it would say, will you please, for the love, change my oil? Will you please get me a new filter? Will you please have somebody check out that knock that's happening in the front end? Like your body is saying the same thing. And a lot of it is your liver, it's your pancreas, it's your gut. You've got to get that insulin down. And that's why everything that I have sourced, like inside of the Total Body Reset bundle, it's like, it's all of those things together. It's all in one stop. And like I said, you can source from your own areas, take this information and do that. You don't have to do things through me. But for those of you who do, I hope that you feel supported. I hope that you feel encouraged. I hope that you feel like you have a track to run on, etc. Right? Okay. So let me see who I'm chatting with. You guys are so fun. Shannon says, you're right about researching the supplements. I've tried to advise that too, as I have supplemented for so long and learned along the way. I know. And that's why, you know what? When you have a friend or you have a sibling or somebody that needs, to have a good access to a line or something, I always appreciate referrals because I know that I can give somebody the best of something and that they can actually get the results and stop trying and guessing. When I was searching because we did not have a magnesium that had launched yet, when I was searching for a magnesium, I think I tried, it was either 2 or 3 of them. I'll always dramatize something. So let's say I tried 2 of them before this launch. I tried 2 of them before I found one that I liked, and it wasn't ours yet. And then when ours launched, I was like, oh, I hope this is as good as what I found. But I did my own searching because it wasn't working for me. It wasn't now, and I don't know if that was the efficacy of that company. I don't really know, right? It just didn't work, but I had to test things because listen, if something's not working, then stop buying the drugstore off the shelf. And most of those companies are made by the pharmaceutical companies. So maybe there's not a plant in sight. Like, hello, I'm just saying, we have to think these things through. Like if they're just doing a bunch of synthetic stuff and they're not growing organic farms, I'm just saying. And this is the only company that grows their own organic stuff, literally the only one. But anyway, okay, so I'll get off of that. But Patty says, my mother called me Fatty Patty. Do you see how this goes? So I'm actually going to pause for a second and I'm going to say those things ring in our head, right? So now we have to reverse that. And we're probably going to have to speak out loud, right? So maybe you have to do it in the bathroom by yourself and you say, I no longer identify with that terminology. I am now, and then give yourself a new name. Give yourself a new name because I am telling you, boy, do I resonate with that understanding, with that childhood connection. It's ridiculous that these things stay in our heads as long as they do, but they do. So you have to give yourself a new name. You have to decide that's not who I am anymore. That's not who I am. I never was, but I'm really not now. I'm a new person. Anyway, okay. Geraldine, good to see you. Shannon says, I really love how you go back to how we are all different. In nutrition school, it's always said we are all bio-individual. We are. That's correct. Sleep is very important. We all need restorative sleep and medically proven that we do. Very true. Patty says, I sleep like a baby taking your magnesium. I take it. Oh, very good. Yeah. And like I said, I think it was last week, Patty, I really actually do. I've been more mindful now. Oh, that's right. I don't take it right as I'm going to bed. I actually do take it. I start kind of my nighttime routine about an hour before I go to bed. So anyway, I'm right there with you. So she says, taking your magnesium, I take it an hour before bed and I go to sleep at the same time every night and wake up at the same time every day. Patty, my goodness. That's beautiful. I love that. Perfection, right? This is what we need. Casting cares help so much, just can take practice. It's so worth it though. It does take practice. That's why no shame in that either, right? This is just we're walking journey. Like, come on, we all have to walk journey. Nobody's doing things perfectly. We just have to be reminded sometimes to do it again, do it again, and do it again. And that's there you go. So anyway, body won't use synthetics. Keep saying this. It's true. I know. Shannon says, awesome, Patty. Very, very good. Okay, so magnesium ashwagandha works for Carrie. Yes. I'm telling you. I'm so grateful. I know that there are some people that are like, well, I'm just, I don't know. It's kind of like when you eat the American Standard Diet, nobody ever says anything to you. But the minute you try to eat real food, people are like, that's not sustainable. You're out of balance, or whatever. And it's like, I'm eating normal food. Like before we had the Industrial Revolution, this is normal food. Like, why is this a problem? Well, it's the same thing when it comes to supplementing, right? So like my dad had a Lazy Susan full of medication. And today everybody's like, oh yeah, I'm on meds too. Oh yeah, I'm on meds too. Oh yeah, I'm medicated. Oh yeah, me too. Oh, what brand are you taking? Oh, I'm taking this one. My doctor gave me this one. Da, da, da. And everybody thinks that's normal. But if you tell somebody that you actually do supplementation, then people are like, because I always talk about the total body reset, and I'll do that right now. But there are other things that I've implemented because I test and then I keep what makes a difference for me. And I don't keep what doesn't make a difference for me. And I tweak my routine according to what my body needs and where I'm going and what I'm trying to accomplish. Like, that's my world. So yes, I do have a system, and somebody might look at me and go, oh my gosh, there's so many pills, there's so many things. And I'm like, yeah, well, I function really well too. Just saying, like, because I can tell a difference. I can tell a difference. Just saying. So Patty says, I get the best 8 hours of sleep. Oh my gosh. That's amazing, Patty. That is amazing. She says, wow, that's amazing, Patty. I dream of restful sleep and routine. Yes. Mary, it's on Amazon. I can show you where to get it, but it is a supplement organizer. I actually have 2 of them now because I decided, I should have had my old one here. I've had all of mine in one little thing from the dollar store for years and years and years. People are like, how do you know what's what? I'm like, I just know my stuff. But I decided this is a part of my 2026 stuff. So I decided to get these, and because I travel a lot for business, etc. And so, yes, and I can show you how to get those here. But I'm going to go through the total body reset first, and then I'll show you that. Anyway, so when I talk about getting your body to function on a different level, it's super important to me. And the reason why it is really important is because if you think that you have to be, how do I say this so that it's really like it makes sense in your head? You absolutely can. I was slow. in how I was trading out my foods, etc. And I didn't understand how certain real foods even were just still too high, sugar spiking, etc. And so because of that, I was not getting my insulin to come down. I was not helping my liver enough. My body had been gestational diabetic 30 years prior. So I had 30 years of help that I needed. And had I not began to supplement, this is for me now, right? I don't believe that I would have ever calmed enough of the food noise. I don't believe that I would have ever had my body respond enough for me to keep hitting the pickaxe against the end of the tunnel to get to the point where it was on the other side. My loss of 3 sizes was on the other side. My keeping it off was on the other side. I had to get my insulin and my insulin down and my liver to function in order for me to get the results that I was looking for. And I just don't think that I was going to do that on the path that I was on all by myself, because I had a lot of years of buildup that needed to shift and change. So I definitely needed a targeted support system. Oh, what do you say? So you said yes. Oh, I don't like telling people because they always have a contrary opinion without a word of support. I know. Yep. So you don't got to tell nobody nothing. You don't have to tell anybody anything what you're doing. Just telling you, you don't have to. Okay. So when it comes to what I talk about in terms of supplementation, I always start usually with what I started with, because I went, okay, fine. I can take a few things. I can do this because I wasn't a supplementer. So this is what I call the trio. And basically you've got your insulin, your sugar, your liver, and your metabolism all in one place. That's kind of what we're working with right there. I'll put that on my screen. So that's what this whole trio is: 3 a day, 2 a day, 2 a day. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. Okay. And then as they began to like launch different pieces, I'm like, okay, now I'm understanding how your gut insulin resistance causes leaky gut. And so if you're leaching out nutrients, if your liver isn't functioning on another level, like your liver governs your hormones. Insulin and cortisol are hormones. So is GLP-1, FYI. Your liver is governing the glucose in your blood. Okay, so liver. So that's where the gut primer comes in. And this has those 6 different blends in it that I take a scoop of this every morning. And yesterday somebody texted me. I said this in my stories today. And they said, you know what? They do it the opposite of me. They tried it like what I say when I I take a scoop and I put it in a small amount of water like this. That's cold, and I take it like a wellness shot. They said, oh, that didn't work for them at all. They actually go a full 8 ounces. And they like that better. So you're just going to have to play around with it, right? So it's very green tea tasting. All of the plants are off of organic farms. They are all of the spices, the turmeric and the ginger and all of these things. They're off of organic farms. They are very pure, very potent, and the greens are already fermented. There's also all sorts of things like digestive enzymes and pre and postbiotics and alkaline spices and fiber from the extracts of fruits and vegetables. And so it's all super like charged for priming, because it's a primer, and it will prime your gastrointestinal tract. And when you can begin that healing and sealing of your gut, wow, like your gut, when it makes GABA, you are calm. This is why people say my anxiety went away. When you create serotonin, 90% of it is made in your gut, you are happy. Not joyful. Joy is a different thing. Happy. When you create dopamine properly, now you feel motivated in life again. So this is why the gut is so important. Then probiotic, because you have to repopulate the good bacteria. That's what's helping you to do these things, like heal and seal your gut and get that good bacteria going so you can do the GABA, the serotonin, the dopamine. That doesn't even touch the conversation about people who have severe constipation, or they have diarrhea or indigestion and they're on omeprazole and then they get off of it. It doesn't even touch on those things, or the fact that when you don't have a gallbladder, your liver needs more help. Okay, so that's number 4. This is number 5. And then the very last one is the fat burner. And the fat burner I pulled out of the put that up there, sports nutrition line. And in the sports nutrition line, this is literally targeting your visceral fat. Okay, so when you target your visceral fat, what happens is that is why you are able to, I just know I'm going to my arm's going to do that. That's why you can lose those inches right under your boob, all the way down through your hips, under your boob, down through your hips, because that's the trunk area that this is targeting. Okay. That is the total body reset. These 6 all together, the gut primer, orange pixie stick, that's the fat burner, the probiotic, and the 3 that help with insulin, sugars, liver, and metabolism. So you do have half of this that's for your liver. Okay. I swear that is one of the biggest game changers ever that people never hear about anywhere else. Liver, liver, liver. Okay. That's why your body will actually begin to produce a different result. And again, you can source these in other places. I mean, just take some of this information and understanding, right? And do that. Hold on just a second. There we go. Your adult daughter says is it sustainable? Can you live like that forever so I don't tell anyone? Right? It's mind-boggling. And do you want to know why it's mind-boggling? Because, again, before the Industrial Revolution, we were not eating packaged food like this. So for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, people ate real food. And it was sustainable. And you didn't have sugar every 2 seconds in every food that you ate. And we weren't spraying our crops with glyphosate. And we weren't fill in the blank. I'm just saying, we have to think back to whatever systems we have in place now. We have to say, well, were they always that way? Oh, they weren't. Then why do we have such a hard time thinking that we can't go back and live like normal people that eat real food? I'm so grateful for the change that they're making in the government because with the food pyramid. But the reason why is because it's actually normalizing once again, and it'll take a minute. It'll take a minute for us to be able to get to that point where it's a common conversation to talk about eating real food and the fact that we don't, look at the food pyramid. It's not filled with ingredients to create processed food as much anymore. They're telling us to really tamp down on that. And I think probably in a decade, we'll feel it more than we will right now. But this is the beginning of something. And it's super important so that we can feel really normal. So for anybody that is looking for just the total body reset in general, my website is right here. And at the top of my website, you can easily find the total body reset. My page looks like this with my face, and this button right here, button number 2, is the total body reset. When you see that, you'll see the button, and that's great, but you'll also see an explanation that's a little deeper, 9 minutes. Then you can see some of my story for people who are like, listen, lady, I just came across your information and I don't even really know your story. And why do you have, why do you care so much about this, whatever. But then you can also find at the very bottom some free resources on that total body reset page, some testimonies right there, that kind of scroll, etc. So there's a lot to look at and see. But when you're back on my first page again, and you see that total body reset, there's my picture, there's the total body reset. There's also an Amazon thing right here. And now I'll add I'm showing you that because you asked about the thing. I can put my thing on there, my pill organizer there if you want me to. But those are just some of the things that I've been sourcing from Amazon for myself to just work on, well, because there are just so many things that we can, like sugar-free electrolytes, and we need to know maybe what to try for that, things like that. The red light therapy, I'm super enjoying that. I love my vibration machine. That I didn't think I was going to love it that much, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Bye, Terry. Have such an amazing day. Oh, I see. You're late, but you'll catch the replay. Well, it's good to see you, Terry. It's good to see you. Jan was on here yesterday and she goes, I missed 4 of yours last week. I spent Sunday binging. I'm like, oh my goodness. You guys are very committed to, you're committed to yourselves, aren't you? You're committed to yourselves. So anyway, so the total body reset, be a registered customer. If you are already not a customer of mine, make sure that you are registered so that you can tap into free shipping, customer campaign, which says that when you purchase 150 or more 3 months in a row, you get $75 off. They'll throw you a $50 bonus in February when you're doing that little 3-month stint, January, February, March, and you're going to get 50 off in February, 75 off in April, March. Don't pay any attention to me, March. And then in April, about halfway through April, you will have already done your 90 days, about there to the end of April. And you'll be right in the middle of spring, right at that beginning of spring. And you'll either know whether your body's being helped or not, right? And you're still only halfway through a 6-month guarantee. So, but you're so welcome, Joan. You're so welcome. But if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And in fact, I think I'll probably jump off and I'll change where you can access me. But at the bottom of my page is short. Right at the bottom, here's all of my contact information, including a number you can text me at. So don't ever feel like you don't have somebody to ask questions to, like, this is what I've got going on. What do you think about this? Or these are the things I'm already taking. Would that be doubling up? All that kind of stuff. I'll be so honest with you. I'll be like, yeah, you don't probably need that because if you're doubling up, right? Or finish that off first, or, whatever. I'd be more happy to have you be very customized and something that's working for you than for you to be in confusion, because a confused mind does nothing. So I hope that this helped you today. I'll go and tweak a few things for you there. And if you need anything, let me know. But we will be back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central. So don't miss out if you can do that at all. Luana, catching it on the replay. Perfect. Good to see you. Good to see you. And isn't the sun beautiful in Minnesota today? We're so happy. We like the sun. And I'll be back. And then also, just as a little side note, as we jump off, February 2nd, Monday, February 2nd is the beginning of the February 5-day challenge inside of the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. So you just give your email, tell them Kirsten sent you, jump in there. And then we've done that for 2.5 years now. 2.5 years we've done a free 5-day challenge. And it helps you to be able to, you are so welcome, Mary. It helps you to have an actual process handed to you, an actual built-in support system of understanding handed to you while you're doing. You don't have to be on the total body reset to be in there. But for those of you that are, this is this is all a complement to what you're doing so that you continue in understanding and in application, in execution, because it's more important for you to get the results than for anything. You've got to get the results, right? Let's get those for you. So, all right. See you guys tomorrow. Have a beautiful day. Love you guys. See you later.